Hey guys, my name's Doug with Infotainment.com. Today we're working on Ford and Lincoln vehicles, and I wanted to tell you guys a little bit about the latest technology they have for their infotainment systems. It is called Sync 4. Now Sync 4 itself is an awesome upgrade versus the older Sync 3. You get a lot of added benefits such as advanced voice activated assistant. You get high resolution screens with the Sync 4 system in 8-inch, 10-inch, 12-inch, and 15-inch. They come with or without built-in GPS navigation. They're compatible with the new SiriusXM platform X65, which gives you a whole wide array of benefits for satellite radio. Integrated hands-free Bluetooth, pinch to zoom feature. One of the best features about the Sync 4 is you get the wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto capability. So as soon as you get in your vehicle, your phone will connect. There's no cords, nothing. It shows up as soon as you get in the vehicle. Now, a lot of Fords already come from the factory with the Sync 4 system. So if you want to increase the size of your screen, we can help you over at Infotainment.com. But what about those of you who have Sync 3? If you want Sync 4, it's impossible unless you go with Infotainment.com. We have developed plug-and-play factory OEM Ford and Lincoln kits so you can go from the older technology to the latest and greatest Sync 4. All right guys, today I want to show you an exciting new Infotainment.com exclusive upgrade. This is the 12-inch factory OEM Sync 4 upgrade for the 2015 to 2020 F-150, the 2017 through the 2022 Ford Super Duty, which includes F-250 through the 550, and the 2018 through 2021 Ford Expedition. So all of the full-size Ford truck vehicles, we're gonna allow you guys, the first time ever, to go from Sync 3 technology to Sync 4 with the high-resolution 12-inch display. You guys are gonna absolutely love this upgrade. It's the largest OEM screen your Super Duty F-150 or Expedition can obtain. Higher resolution and better visual clarity, especially in situations like the backup mode. 100% OEM, it's compatible with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, onboard GPS navigation, and every factory feature of your truck. You'll be able to increase the value and retain the function of your pickup. Don't make any aftermarket sacrifices. This is an exclusive DIY all-encompassing upgrade right here from Infotainment.com. You can't get it anywhere else. All right guys, you're probably wondering, what does it take to install this upgrade? Well, we have a combination of infotainment parts and factory Ford parts. So first of all, you're going to get the high resolution 12-inch Ford Sync 4 display. You're also going to get a pre-programmed to your VIN number Ford Sync 4 APIM module, along with some custom-made brackets on the back side of the screen and the APIM. You're also going to get factory-grade ABS plastic painted matte black plastic for your vehicle, along with two what we call button bars. If you have the 3 switches on the top of your dash, you can use this. If you have the 2, you can use this one. You can discard the other. We have plug-and-play wiring. Look at how easy the wiring is, guys. There's not wires all over the place like you would see with an aftermarket system. Look how easy it is. LVDS display cable, plug-and-play factory molded wiring, a GPS antenna for those who do not have existing GPS, a bag of screws, last but not least, the OBD Genie programmer, which will give you the ability to program the truck to accept this as a factory installed option. So let's get started. I'm gonna show you guys today how easy it is to install in your vehicle.
All right, so where we're gonna start is right up top here. This little cubby needs to come out. So in order to do that, you have to pull up this rubber mat, and that'll expose 2 7mm screws back there. Some of you will have a speaker right here, and if you do, you'll have to pop that speaker grill off, and on the sides of the speaker you'll expose these 2 screws. They're still there, they're just a little bit more hidden with the speaker variant. And now there's 3 clips up here holding the cubby in. Get our panel pull in here and get this pulled free. See those 3 clips? On the ones with the speaker, you obviously have to unplug that speaker connector. And once you get that cubby out of the way, you got 2 7mm right up front here holding in your radio bezel. And with those 2 7mm removed, you can pull your radio bezel to the rear. It's just held in with some retaining clips. Once you have that snapped out, you have your connectors up top and on the bottom that you're going to have to disconnect. And then we'll set this aside. All right, now that'll expose 6 7mm screws on the side of your radio module. We'll get those pulled out. I like to use a 7mm bit with a magnet at the end of it, just because these tend to fall down pretty easily. Kind of a tight space you're working in there. Now we get this radio module pulled out. We get all the connectors unplugged on the back side of it, and we got this lever style connector as your main harness going into the radio. You press down the center and you can spin that lever down to the side. It'll push itself out as it's spinning out. All right, so before we get the new Sync 4 APIM up in this space with the bracket for our 12-inch, I'm gonna relocate these wires that are going up to the hazard switch or button bar that's at the top of that radio bezel. We need to relocate this so it's popping out at the bottom. So in order to do that, back here we have a clip we need to unclip. That's basically tying these wires in. We got that unclipped, we'll pull this through. You can see it gives you so much more slack with that clip removed, and basically that's all we have to do. So once you get this down here, you're ready to install the new APIM. All right, so I got my 8-inch Sync 3 module here and screen side by side with the Sync 4 module for the 12-inch with our new custom bracket. All I'm gonna do before I set this into the truck is slide in our connector, just like we did when we removed the factory one. And now we can take this whole assembly and mount it just like the radio would mount. It has alignment pins on this bracket, so when you stick it in there, it's gonna align just like the factory one did. All right, so we'll get our factory main connector plugged in here. And we'll also untie the little pigtail here that's on the main harness. This is for our 12-inch screen to get power. And that needs to go underneath the radio also, so make sure that hangs down. All right, now I grab the other connector, the LVDS cable that's in your upgrade, and I'll get that plugged in as well. And that little pigtail that's coming off your main harness and this line are gonna run to the same place. So we're gonna have both of these kind of hanging down. Underneath our APIM, we'll get the remainder of the plugs plugged back in. And we'll set this into our dash. So how you want it to look is you want the pigtail with the black connector on it coming out of the driver's side hole, and the one with the pink connector on it on the passenger side. If you get these backwards, when you go to connect that screen up, you're going to be crossing wires, so you want to make sure that they're in the right orientation. But now we'll go ahead and mount the 6 screws that are holding our radio in. All right, so we got our button bar connectors at the bottom of the radio, the pink LVDS and the screen connector coming out of our openings in our bracket. And that's all we need. Now we're ready to reinstall our radio bezel. All right, and before we go ahead and plug it all up and click it into place, we have one last step that we have to do. We have to swap our buttons out and get those installed onto our button bar that's included with your upgrade. So in order to do that, on the back side, the easiest way to do it, you squeeze the tabs on the side and you push outwards. You got a little flathead that may help you, just like that. So from the back side, you're just squeezing and pushing outwards. And with the button bar, you're gonna go ahead and click that into place. You can't get these mixed up. They're keyed differently, so you can only pop them in to their correct locations. But we'll do that for the remaining two. All right, now we can reinstall our bezel. All right, and all the remaining wires, you want to make sure that they come through this opening here. Just like that. So you have your 3 connectors at the bottom for the button bar and your 2 connectors for your new 12-inch screen. All right, and up top here, we got our bezel back in. We can throw the 2 7mm screws back in. The pocket I'm gonna leave out to the very end. Once you get your 12-inch screen in there, you do have a couple of screws that come from the front to the back, that when that pocket is not in place, it allows you just a little easier access to get your screwdriver in there and tighten those down. All right, so now we're ready for our dash kit. We'll grab the wires for our button bar, stick that through the slot that's at the bottom of your dash kit, and the 2 up top will line up just like that. On your dash kit, you'll notice that you have 4 arrows right here. Those arrows are indicating which screws go in first. So in your little hardware kit, you have a bunch of screws. 2 of them are black. Those are going to be for these top screws that'll be exposed on the outside. All the other screws are the same size, and that's the ones that we're going to be using for every other fastening situation on this dash kit. So we're going to hand thread the 4 initial screws that need to go in there. And once those are in, what I like to do is push this whole piece upwards, so it's kind of maxing out the height that it can go in. And now I'll get these tightened down. And now we're ready for the sheet metal portion of our dash kit. Before we get this placed onto the plastic bezel, what I'm going to do is hand thread these 2 bottom screw holes here. There's 2 on either side. You want to get the inside ones. Just hand thread until they kind of stop a little bit. So they're just kind of hanging down there like that. Just like that. And now we can get this piece set onto our dash. On the plastic portion of the bezel, there's alignment pins that once it falls into place, it'll kind of support it and line it up. And now you can see the remaining 4 screws that we have to get installed here. So now that we have this all in place, I want to show you what these 2 screws at the bottom are for. They're actually for the button bar. They secure the button bar. So after the screen is in place, you'll set this up in there, and those screws you're going to find with your screwdriver aiming up. You get those tightened down, and that'll secure this in place. So before we do that, we're going to grab our screen, get this plugged in, and now we can set this into our sheet metal portion. But on the back side of our screen, you can see this bracket here. You have a bunch of keys that are coming off of here that we have to line up with these keyhole slots. So basically, you're going to press the screen into place at the base of those keyholes, and you'll notice there's going to be a gap at the top of the screen. Then you'll push upwards, and that'll get it to lock into place. So let's go ahead and do that now. All right, so we got it flush, and we got that little gap up top. That means that we're in those keyhole slots. All we got to do is push upwards. We'll get that flushed up top. And once we get that in there, it'll hold itself in place. That'll actually allow us to put in the 2 screws at the bottom that'll secure our screen. All right, now our screen's not going anywhere. Now we're ready to attach our button bar. And if you notice at the top of our button bar, we have this little lip here. That's actually going to lip underneath our screen. So let me get this plugged in, and I'll show you how this goes in there. Once you have your connectors plugged in, kind of lip it underneath that screen, just like so. Once it's in place, it's nice and flush, you'll get your Phillips screw and tighten up the 2 screws that we pre-threaded earlier, and that'll secure our button bar to our bezel. All right, now all we're left with are the 2 small black Phillips screws, machine screws that we're gonna have to put on the top side. We got that one snug. We'll do the same thing on the other side. And these are kind of at a weird angle, so once you get them in there, you'll know. All right. Now we're done with these, we can go ahead and put our little cubby back on the top of our dash, and this installation is done. All right, that wraps up this install. Now all we have to do is move forward with programming our vehicle. So we'll grab our OBD Genie programmer and we'll get that started. So from this point, we can turn on the ignition and plug in our programmer until we see a green light, and that way we'll know our vehicle has been programmed. All right, we got a green light, so we're clear to pull this from the vehicle. Even though the vehicle has been programmed, we will save this, stick it in the glove box, just in case for whatever reason we lose programming, we have the ability to reprogram it as needed.
Right away, you guys noticed this awesome new 12-inch display here with the Sync 4 system. What a massive upgrade to your Ford vehicle, not only from the standpoint of aesthetics, but also the technology. It's just such a great transformation. Now I'm going to show you guys a little bit about it today. So right here in the audio section, right now we're right here on the FM mode. This particular audio control module has not only SiriusXM, but also HD radio. You'll notice that tab up there is on at the moment. All right, now this vehicle obviously has SiriusXM, so we're gonna check that out. Now SiriusXM is one of the biggest, best things about Sync 4, in my opinion. You're gonna get it with the X65 platform, which gives you album art, it gives you better station identification. Depending on your subscription, you'll get more channels. So I'll give you a brief overview of how that looks. You go into that tab there, you'll be able to come in here and change some of your settings. If you're browsing for channels, you can do so by pressing that button, coming through all the genres that you want. You can also obviously scroll through whatever station you want to listen to based on your subscription. So it's really laid out really well. Works phenomenal. With the X65 platform, you also get the mix mode presets. So you can see we have AM, FM, satellite radio down here in your preset row. So that's what mix mode is, and that is what you can take advantage of with that X65 platform. Just an awesome, awesome upgrade there for the Sync 4. If you want to connect to your phone, you simply just add your phone there. I did turn off the CarPlay temporarily so I can get through all the tabs, and then here at the end of the video I'm going to show you guys how CarPlay works in Android Auto. Moving on to the navigation, these Sync 4 systems come with or without GPS navigation. So this particular one has built-in GPS navigation. You notice it pinpointed our location immediately. You could come in here and it's got a wide array of different features and options for the Sync 4 GPS navigation, just so much better than the Sync 3. You get to go to recent addresses. You can obviously say your home and your work address. Just works really, really well, and be able to come in here, and if you want to adjust more things, you can come into this menu here and do that. So really cool. It's got pinch to zoom, so it works awesome. The favorite icon down here, you can move one of these tiles down as a favorite if you're constantly going in and, let's just say, adjusting your ambient lighting. If that's something that you have, you can move that down. Keep in mind, with this upgrade, we pre-program it to your exact VIN number. So when you guys receive the kit from us, it will work exactly the way it needs to. So just as an example, before I move to apps, your steering wheel controls, all your Bluetooth buttons and functionality on your steering wheel work perfect. Something I'll jump into real quick, the backup camera. I mean, just look at the quality and how large the backup camera is. Just from a safety perspective, it is such an awesome part of this Sync 4 system. So what we'll do now is we'll go into apps. You'll be able to control Apple CarPlay, Android Auto right through this menu here. And then the settings menu, as I mentioned before, this is pre-programmed to your exact vehicle. So if you have certain features that others don't, you'll see it and they won't. So it'll be programmed exactly for your vehicle. And you'll be able to come into the settings menu. I won't do it today, but you can come in here and change things however you'd like. Another thing I wanted to show you guys is this feature over here on the right-hand side. Because it's such a big screen, Ford designed it so you can have some tiles over here that are handy and quick and easy to get. So as you can see, this is in the audio section here. You can go up to climate, off-road, your phone, or even GPS navigation. So if you're in, let's just say, a different mode, you can always have your maps on over here in the corner. So you can set it to whatever you'd like. All right, another thing I want to show you guys here, obviously one of the absolute best parts about Sync 4 is wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. So a very convenient feature. You start your vehicle, you get in, and right away it pairs to your phone. You're not tethered through a USB. You just get in and it starts working. So, and then obviously if you have the 12-inch screen in your vehicle, it makes such a big difference. You can push that out of the way by pressing this button here, and now you have a full screen Apple CarPlay. It is just amazing, the functionality of this in this vehicle. So you have your recent used apps over here. If you press this, you can obviously go through and select whatever app that you want. Just as an example, Google Maps with the satellite view, it's such an awesome thing here, the wireless Apple CarPlay. Now I'm going to show you guys how Android Auto works wirelessly. All right, now for Android Auto, let me show you guys how that works. So as you can see, wireless Android Auto, there is a little icon down here that you can press to move that tile out of the way. Now you have a full 12-inch Android Auto in your Ford vehicle. Works just the way that Android Auto works. You have your favorites here. You can press that button. You can scroll through all of the applications. So again, works really well. And I think you guys will love the fact that this will be a complete wireless application, both Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that upgrade just as much as we enjoyed developing it. We were here established in 2008, and we've been helping over 100,000 customers do upgrades to their vehicle. So we carry this upgrade and so much more on our website, Infotainment.com. We service what we sell. We have a whole staff that services parts all day long. We also have in-house advisors that can advise you and help you from start to finish. We also have a compatibility guarantee. As I mentioned in the video, we will get your 17-digit VIN number to ensure that everything is programmed to the modules for a seamless installation in your exact vehicle. We also have extended warranties for those of you who would like to take advantage of that. Those of you who pulled out your old gear and you don't want it just to sit in your garage forever, we actually offer trade-in value to your old gear. So be sure to go to our website for more information on that. Last but not least, if you have a request for your vehicle, you want a factory OEM upgrade for your vehicle and you don't see it on our website, we have a product request form that our research and development department looks at every single day. So request that product and we'll get back with you with a possible solution. Thank you so much, guys, for watching, and have a great day.